you wanted the best, you've got the best podcast, the hottest podcast in the world. The Chris Voss Show, the preeminent podcast with guests so smart you may experience serious brain bleed. The CEOs, authors, thought leaders, visionaries, and motivators. Get ready. Strap yourself in. Keep your hands, arms, and legs inside the vehicle at all times, because you're about to go on a monster education roller coaster with your brain. Now, here's your host, Chris Voss.
Hi, folks. It's Voss here from the ChrisVossShow.com. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Our latest things that makes official. Welcome to the show. I'm glad I don't have to sing that after all these years. For 17 years now going on and 2,600 episodes, we bring in the Chris Voss Show. We're one of the oldest damn podcasts that's still broadcasting and very active. 48 new shows a month. Be sure to refer the show to your family, friends, and relatives. Or else I'll have to start door knocking on Saturday mornings like the Mormons and bother you about, have you heard of our Lord and Savior, the ChrisVossShow.com. Anyway, guys, go to goodreads.com/Chris Voss, LinkedIn.com/Chris Voss, Chris Voss 1 on the TikTokity, Facebook.com/Chris Voss. Today we have two returning amazing guests on the show. We're going to be talking about kind of an unknown book series that most people have never heard about, the Tom Clancy series on Jack Ryan and different things. I'm sure you've never seen a movie or seen the multitude of books or some of the authors and their own streams of books like these gentlemen have. But we're going to get into it today and talk about the new book out. Tom Clancy, Executive Power, a Jack Ryan novel, out November 25th, 2025. Brian Andrews and Jeffrey Wilson joins us on the show again. Welcome to the show, gentlemen. How are you?
Yeah, it's great to be back, man. I mean, you know, how can you complain about being on the best podcast in the world? We promise to try really hard not to make anyone's brain bleed.
We give the best brain bleed.
You have the best intro, Chris, of anybody. It's like awesome.
Thanks. I appreciate that. I know you guys do a lot of shows. Brian, .coms for you?
What's that?
.coms, any .coms you want to promote?
I mean, there's only one that really matters. It's andrews-wilson.com. Go there. It has everything, all of our books, all of our photographs, all of our musings on whatever we muse about.
There you go. Lots of the musings. So give us a 30,000 overview, guys. I'll give you each a shot at this on what's inside you guys' new book.
Yeah. Well, it's right here. Tom Clancy, Executive Power. It comes out on November
Tuesday.
12th. Yes.
All right. Well, thank you very much for coming by, guys. Appreciate being with the show. That's a wrap, boys. No, Jeff, you want to give a longer version for me?
Say the same damn
At least
point.
5 more words. Come on.
Yeah, next Tuesday. No. So this is a fun book for us. This is our third book in the Clancy series of 26 Jack Ryan novels. So, you know, you're always struggling when you come into this series. What the hell else can I possibly tell? What's the next story? And you remember from before the Act of Defiance book, our first one 2 books ago, the first of our 3, we introduced new characters. Katie Ryan, who was Jack's daughter, who last time you saw her, she was 6 and being kidnapped by the IRA. And we grew her up now that Jack is the president, and her brother Kyle. And when we first did that, we were worried a little bit, like, is everyone going to be okay with this? And people loved it. So those characters were embraced. The next 2 books, Act of Defiance and Defense Protocol, people loved Katie. In this one, we get to bring Kyle, her brother, a little bit more forward. I'll let Brian talk about how cool that was to do and why, but he is now in a Western African nation doing what he does, which is something that the president and his sister had no idea about. And as a result, there's a coup in this country. And because of that coup, he is caught in the middle. Him and some other Americans are captured, and it's on the American forces to get him out. We also got to focus on the Marine Expeditionary Unit for the first time. So we got the Amphibious Ready Group out there doing their thing. We get a big amphibious assault on this country. So it was a lot of fun. Big geopolitics, but a lot of family and relationship too.
There you go. It sounds like there's going to be a Tom Clancy daughter and junior series maybe coming out of this. I don't know. Is there?
You never know. We don't have control over all of the universe, but
yeah.
No, it is really exciting to be able to, bring characters of the Ryan family to the forefront, because really that's what this story is about, or at least our contribution to the series is that, we tried to bring the family element back to the series. Like Jeff said, it's been 30 years since we last saw Katie Ryan. A lot has changed, but what has not changed is the fact that Jack Ryan is a father and a husband and a patriot. And so it's, as such a role model, you could only imagine that the other members of the family would sort of want to get into the family business, and the family business is protecting America. So Katie followed in her dad's footsteps almost sort of identically. She's an analyst, but Kyle is different. Kyle, he's not the black sheep of the family per se, but he is doing his own thing. And we even mentioned in the book that the family members are like, what is Kyle up to these days? So because he works for this secret task force and he's deployed, nobody's seen him. Nobody, even his dad, who's president of the United States, that's been compartmentalized to the point where he's not being briefed on that his own son is in Angola when this coup happens. And so it really creates this fascinating dynamic of, wait, there's a coup. Wait, my son is there. Wait, oh my gosh, he's been kidnapped. So Jack Ryan is maybe caught unaware for one of the first times in his presidential life. And that was fun to play with.
Oh, there you go. That would be, I don't think we've ever had that in American history in reality where a president maybe had to start a small war or something, skirmish, because his kid was caught in the middle of it. I don't think that's ever been done, has it?
I don't think I've seen it, but it's a cool premise, right?
Yeah.
And that's why we named, that's the reason for the name, this idea of executive power. As a president, you have enormous power, not just over America, but over the whole planet, right? Like it's the most powerful position in the world. And with it comes incredible responsibility, like Spider-Man. So, Jack Ryan has always been the Boy Scout. He's always the guy that does the right thing. And I don't think we've seen him challenged to the point of, what will I do with this executive power when I'm choosing between world stability, national stability, and my own child? And so we do flesh that out a little bit in the book, his awareness that, hey man, am I biased? Am I unbiased? Am I doing the right thing, or am I doing the right thing for me? So it does add another tension to the story.
Yeah, there you go. And then they have to save him too, because life is probably under the thing. So gotta love it. What was it, you guys come from two different backgrounds on your guys' thing. I think one of you was a submarine officer, nuclear engineer, the other a combat surgeon and Navy reservist. Does that sound right? Do I have that right?
Yeah, close. We were both active duty. I was a combat surgeon with the teams for 12 or 14 years, but yeah, so different communities, but that's what's cool, right?
Yeah.
We bring it all together, and we've got all this rich stuff to draw on.
So you got pretty distinct backgrounds that you can use to write together. What strength do you guys feel that you each bring to the table when you guys sit down to write either your books or the Tom Clancy's?
I think, probably the most important thing, and we might have said this before on your show, but as veterans, and especially guys who worked with high performing teams, they don't call the SEAL teams the teams for nothing, right? There's a reason. And same with the submarine community. So as different as the communities are, what they do share is that this idea that they're high performance teams working under incredibly stressful environments where you have to depend on and rely on each other to get the job done. And so we've brought that same sort of approach, not with the same operational tempo. Although you could make an argument that we have a pretty high op tempo with 4 books a year.
Yeah.
But we tried to bring that mentality to the writing. And so I think it's tempting to ask, what are Jeff's strengths? What are my strengths? What do we each bring to the table? And I would say we kind of bring the same things, which is we bring our curiosity, we bring our effort, we bring our intentionality, and we bring a willingness to compromise and communicate on a daily basis. And so it's really hard to sort of pick apart the book and say, what did Jeff write? What did Brian write? Because the truth is, we write in every point of view. We share character point of views. We're writing in multiple chapters at the same time. And so we kind of gave each other free license to edit each other's work. That happens during the DE process. And so what happens is, we've both touched every page. We've contributed every page. So it's impossible to sort of say where Jeff begins and Brian ends and all that sort of stuff, because we're just all mixed together throughout the book.
That was a really good answer. That was way better. I was going to say I bring really good adjectives, and that was going to be done. But your answer, dude, your answer was way better. We should use that next time.
I would be the one who'd be like, I know where to put the commas.
Right.
So there you go. And then I suppose that's kind of an interesting way to work, because are you both technically, have you learned to write in the same voice to make that indiscernible, or does it become indiscernible because you're constantly editing each other's stuff and writing and yada yada yada?
I think at this point it's probably a little bit of both. We've been doing it,
Mm-hmm.
We've got 24 or so books as Andrews and
Yeah.
Wilson.
Yeah.
But for sure, the secret to it has always been from the very first book, what Brian was describing. We've both touched everything, right? So
Yeah.
ours, he writes a chapter, I write a different chapter, but then we swap them and I rewrite his and he rewrites mine. And so we've really both touched everything. Then it goes to editing and we're editing the whole book and both of us are doing it. It sounds like something you just say on an interview, Chris, but I swear to God, this is true. There are times when my wife is like, oh, chapter 37. Oh, that was all you. That's so good. I'm like, I literally don't know. I'm not sure if I wrote the first version of that or not, because eventually it just all so melded together. But I do think that results in that single voice that we were going for.
Do you think that maybe that's you guys are like a pre-editing team almost, because you're editing each other's, maybe you know, and it kind of gives you an extra filter of quality, maybe?
I think so. And I think we both want to be writers. And what I mean by that is the writing is the fun part. So if one person was the full-time writer and the other person was the editor, I don't think that'd be as fun, right? And so neither one of us wants to do that. So because we both collaborate on the brainstorming and the plotting and the character arcs, and then we get to write, I mean, we even share points of view. So it's not like Jeff writes all the Jack Ryan chapters, I write all the Katie Ryan chapters. We're switching as we go. And that lets you have time, spend time in that character's headspace. And that's what's fun. I mean, that's the creative part of being a storyteller.
There you go. Now, you guys mentioned you've done 24 books. You write 4 books a year. How did you guys meet, and how do you keep up that pace? And what are these other books for maybe people in the audience that aren't familiar with your guys' lines of stories?
Yeah, so we got a bunch of series. We have the Tier 1 series. We actually just, this is the first time I think maybe ever that we've had 2 books drop in the same month. So The Adversary is the 9th book in the Tier 1 series. It came out last week. And then Executive Power, our 3rd installment in the Clancy universe, comes out next Tuesday. Like, so it's been a pretty frenetic couple of weeks, Chris, to be honest with you. But yeah, so we write the Tier 1 series. There's a spinoff series called Sons of Valor. That the 4th book came out last spring. We have a series called the Shepherd series. The 4th book came out, I don't know, when was it, Brian? Last winter. There's a lot going on. It's and now we're writing screenplays because we have the opportunity to adapt some of our own work with some of the partners we have in Hollywood. So the film and television stuff is growing very rapidly. So yeah, it's a full-time job. I think I did it so that I wouldn't have to work, and now I'm working somehow I'm working like 60 hours a week or 70 hours a week. So my wife feels like she got ripped off here, I think.
Well, I was just going to ask you, has your family seen you? Do they know what you look like still?
Yeah, they see me. They open my door and I go, "Get out! I'm writing." So yeah.
There's a funny, I don't know what you call it, a thing that we have in the gaming community called "You need to touch some grass." I don't know where this came from, but it basically implies you need to go outside. You're spending way too much time gaming. Touch some grass, see the sun, get some reality. So I mean, 4 books a year. I mean, that's pretty. We have a lot of great authors like yourselves on the show. In fact, we do need to have your PR agency get with us, because we need to have you guys on for that book you just profiled. But any of the books, I guess we're not getting the pings for that. I mean, that's pretty prolific. 4 books. How do you guys maintain? How many years has this been going on again?
We started writing in 2015, so it's 10 years.
10 years, 4 books a year.
Yeah.
Geez, how do you guys maintain it and keep it fresh? Like, drinking, alcohol, hookers, booze.
I mean, that's something that it's funny. We had gotten advice from some other successful authors that I think we tried to take to heart, which is make sure every book is your best book.
Mhm.
Leave nothing off the table or on the table, I guess. So we took that approach, and you would think that you would use up all your ideas like by book 3. And I think that does happen to some authors. But that's the beauty of, our bios and our backgrounds. When you've been around as long as we have, and you've done as many different things, and you have a curious mind, I think it provides us with a lot of creative fodder to like dig into. And also we kind of keep lists of like interesting things that we read, and we like tuck them away, like, okay, this could be a story. And so we're always sort of like maintaining our garden of ideas, cultivating that garden of ideas, because this is our job, right? And we plan to do it for as long as people will buy our books. And I think that if I could pat us on the back, I'd just say, The Adversary, it's got a 4.9 rating, with 500 reviews. So people really like it. So we never want to phone in a book and they're like, wow, that was a real stinker from these guys. That, the day that happens is probably the day that we should hang it up.
Yeah, there you go. Keep it fresh. The and it sounds like, where you guys plumb for your ideas? So you mentioned some resources maybe you use. Do you guys read other novelists? Do you guys read the newspaper? Maybe do you read any military reports on what's going on around the world?
So for the geopolitic aspects, we're being Navy veterans and having served in the communities we did, we're still huge devourers of geopolitical stuff. So we keep in the loop and follow that stuff. And every now and then you'd be like, oh, that would make a good story. I wonder if this happened. I wonder if that happened. But to be honest, to sort of tie that question to the last one, there's a power in the partnership. There's two of us. I'd be a liar if I said there weren't times when we're like, okay, we're going to start on this next book, and I knew exactly what we were going to do. There are times like, shit, I don't know what we're going to do. But that's okay, because Brian knows. And we've been, God has sort of shepherded us here, we believe, because, every time I'm at that stumbling block, Brian is at his peak and he's like, I got this great idea. And so maybe it'll happen one day where both of us are stumbling. But so far, the partnership has been standing in the gap for each other when one guy doesn't have the idea. And then the moment that partner says, what about this? Then you're lit up, you're on fire again. You're like, oh, that's a great idea. You know what else we could do? And it just builds and builds and builds. It's a lot like if you've ever watched 2 7-year-old boys play in the backyard with sticks pretending they're guns. That's sort of our method. It's just like, dude, what about this? No, dude, you know what else? And so that keeps it fresh, but it also is constant new ideas. And we're just curious people. Like we write, as I think you're aware, we write in some grounded near future sci-fi spaces, with 4 Minutes and with Sandbox. We write in more dramatic spaces. We have books that are not military characters. We're just curious people. So we're constantly thinking and imagining what could happen next. But yeah, without Brian, I don't think I could do it. And in fairness, full humility, we are pulling back to 3 books a year beginning.
Oh, really? I mean, it is a hell of a pace to keep up, and with editing and all the things. But I mean, it's a wonderful process. You guys can maintain that pace, and maybe between the two of you, it helps avoid burnout. If you're doing it as one author, it might get burnt out. But I mean, we have a lot of prolific authors on the show. You look at who's the Stephen King? I mean, I don't know how many books he's put out, but it seems like he's always got something going on. But yeah, the stuff that goes into it. So what's the future for you guys on what you guys are going to do for writing? Let me put it that way.
So we're going to continue the Tier 1 and Sons of Valor and Shepherd series. So sometimes we get emails of people saying, please don't end this series. I don't know why people think that the latest book is the last book. Sometimes you'll see a review, I'm so sad this is the last book. And you think, what makes you think it's the last book? We didn't say that on the book. And so I'm just putting it out there. Like, as long as people keep reading and buying books, then we will keep writing Tier 1 Sons of Valor and Shepherds. That's in the cards. But like Jeff was saying, we got lots of other ideas and things that we're cooking up. So we have a standalone coming out called Dark Horse, which is, exploring a different idea than we've done before. And then the other thing we have, which is really exciting, is we've started an imprint, a new publishing imprint with Blackstone. You can see our little logo there, AWE. That's Andrews and Wilson Entertainment. And Jeff, I don't know, Jeff, you want to tell them about that? It's kind of cool.
Yeah, it was Josh Stanton, the CEO of Blackstone, approached us. They're growing rapidly.
They are
storytelling, and they're amazing. Like we would not go. I would never leave and go anywhere else. But part of that is Josh. But he approached us and said, as we grow, we're thinking we should start to compartmentalize into imprints that reflect each brand. And so they've launched or they're about to launch a faith-based imprint. And then he approached us and said, what about an imprint for thrillers? Would you guys be interested in heading it up? And of course, we're not doing anything else between screenplays. We got
only 4 books a year.
Good, man. I was ready to come out of retirement. But all joking aside, he said, look, we'll structure it in a way that it's manageable for you. But what we want is to be able to have a landing place for books that fall under that same ethos, that same team and mission before self, morally based characters, a hero's journey. So that's sort of how it came to be. And we've been really blessed. We reached out to some friends, and we've got some heavy hitters, Jack Stewart, Don Bentley, Joshua Hood. They're all coming over to write books under the imprint. All of our books will be under the imprint, of course. And then we have some up and coming writers that we'll be excited to announce in the near future that are also writing under the imprint. So that's been a really cool, exciting, flattering, little overwhelming thing that we have going on. But one thing we're doing that we're real excited about on the writing side is to celebrate that, Blackstone has launched this initiative where beginning next month, we're going to release one short novella length short story per month, every month that we're not releasing a book. And that'll start next month with our first installment, First Ranger. I'll let Brian tell you about First Ranger, but here's what's really cool, Chris. All of these shorts, people are always like, oh, where did you get that idea for this or that? Or, oh, this TV show that you're doing, where did that come from? It's not one of your books. These are all shorts that were developed as treatments to sell in Hollywood. And I can't swear this is true, but I think all of the ones that are in the release schedule are things that are in development with someone somewhere at some stage of development. So it's going to give our readers and fans a little peek behind the curtain of how the creative process works. And it's eclectic. This first one, First Ranger, is set in 1775. So it's very, very eclectic mix of stuff.
There you go. You guys are going to be all over the map with that. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, and I think it gives readers and listeners, especially our Audible audience. I mean, they're always asked. I mean, the comments we always get are, "Can you guys write faster? Can you get your books out sooner?" And so, hey, you know what? We're gonna do that. We're gonna get you something every month. Okay, you might get sick of us. It's a little appetizer every month. Amuse-bouche.
Amuse-bouche. I mean, what you guys are doing is a great formula. I mean, it's what you see with I think Netflix was the one who really started this sort of binge thing where people love to binge stuff.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've been guilty of it too. I remember there was a few different things on Amazon that I really liked. And as soon as it would come out, I'd sit and, I'd be up at 4 a.m. in the morning. Need to go to work.
One more episode. One more.
I got to find out what happens. Just one more. It's only 30 minutes, and you're just like, then, the sun's up and you're like, my God, I've made poor choices in my life. But, we found with the podcast, we do 48 shows a month. We found 3 shows a weekday, Monday through Thursday. That's about all I can handle. By Friday, I'm just in a fetal position. But we found that being the Netflix of podcasting, where we bring every sort of topic to the show, every type of author, just uplifting stuff. We don't bring conspiracy or negative shit to the show, but putting out that sort of volume. I mean, they consume like 96% of the show, each show. And I think the 4% is they hear me rounding out the show and they skip to the next. But we got to do something.
Chris.
That's amazing, dude.
Yeah, it is. It is kind of, because I'm like, and they'll tell us, it's the energy of the authors on the show. So we prep them, we send them notes and say, bring energy to the show because that's what sells. And they'll listen to people that they probably wouldn't. I've had people say to me, we're not interested in this topic, but we'll listen to it because you're funny and there's energy and the author seems great, and so they consume it, and so they binge the hell out of it. It's just shocking to me. So we give them so much stuff. I mean, you can go on the Chris Voss Show and binge several hundred psychologists for I don't know, everything from self-improvement to trauma, authors like yourselves that do nonfiction, military style. There's probably a few hundred of those. There's hundreds of romance novelists. I mean, anything you want to binge, but they just suck down everything and they consume it. And if you give that to them, they'll stay on meth's point. Like I've had podcasters go like, we publish once a month or something. And I'm like, your audience has left and come to me, man, because they've got material. So that's kind of what you guys have with 3 to 4 books being put out every year. And then of course, you're getting more demand from your consumers, and that's really great. I mean, we call ourselves the what is it, the Netflix of podcasting, because you can just binge anything you want. And with you guys, what you guys are building, the Blackstone, that's even better. So tons of consumption.
Yeah, I think there's this, maybe, I don't know, like this idea when you first start that everybody you want. Maybe it's a little naive. It's a little naive, a little hopeful. It's this idea that you want everybody to love every book that you write. But the fact of the matter is, like, people have different interests and different opinions and different focuses. And so that's why, when we look at our different series, we're not afraid to take chances and put something else out. We know that not every reader of Tier 1 is going to like Shepherds, and every reader of Shepherds is going to like First Ranger. And that is okay. It's okay, right? It's okay for us to have a variety, like you said, and books in different lanes. And I think you have to have some confidence to do that, and a little bit of a thick skin. There's going to be some people that say, well, I expected X, Y, and Z, and you gave me A, B, and C. Okay, that's fair, but maybe you learn something new, and maybe, for every one of those, you've got 3 other people that said, I didn't expect to like this, but I did. And that happens sometimes too.
There you go. Well, I need to get you guys out for a hard out so we can get you the next show. Give us your final pitch out for people to pick up the book. I'll give you each a shot at it in your .coms.
All right. Well, we hope you're going to check out Executive Power, the third book, our third installment of Clancy series. Obviously, check us out at andrews-wilson.com. That's where all our stuff is. And if you like our Clancy books, if you've been reading those 3 and you think they're special, you're going to find the same kind of stuff in all of our other books. So check out the Shepherd series and Tier 1 and Sons of Valor. So we have plenty more for you.
There you go. Thank you for coming on the show. Brian, anything more you want to add as we go out?
Nope, this is great. Just have us back so we can do this again.
Please do it again. We want to have you on
fun.
For Andrews and Wilson too, The Adversary. That's the new book. So we can make a show for that if you want to book it. Thank you guys for coming on the show. We really appreciate having you. Thank you very much. And
thanks for having us.
Thanks to our audience for tuning in. Order up their book wherever fine books are sold. Tom Clancy, Executive Power, a Jack Ryan novel, out November 25th, 2025. You can pre-order it now and get it as soon as it comes out. And check out Brian Andrews and Jeffrey Wilson's multiple series they have out on their thing as well. Thanks so much for tuning in. Go to goodreads.com/Chris Voss, linkedin.com/Chris Voss, Chris Voss won the TikTokity, and all those crazy places in it. Be good to each other. Stay safe. We'll see you next time.